Good afternoon, YouTube. Alright, so we're on the 30th of September. Wow, where did September go? It's just gone. Yeah, so my last challenge for Scraptember 2025. I thought I'd just jump on and just do something because I've been off for a few days. As you know, it was my birthday. Had lots of celebrating to do and been busy. So yeah, so today I thought I'd do paper clips, acetate, and we'll go for flower again. So I pulled out some of my old leftover pieces of my quilling papers, so that would be my scraps. Also I didn't have acetate, so I just ran a piece of laminating sheet through my laminator with nothing in it, so that is my faux acetate, if you will. Alright, so giant paper clips that I got the other day. So I thought this would be a nice addition to Grand's journal. So for now, I think I'm going to just try for 2 paper clips and we'll see how far we get. I would like to make 4 because I have a need for 4, but let's just go with 2 for now. And I'll have to go and get me some more of these giant paper clips because I think they're going to be very handy for junk journaling, I guess. As we do. I try to do a bit of a desk tidy up. I feel a little bit better, but it's still kind of chaotic. I thought I would have more space on my desk, but I don't seem to have so much space on my desk anyways. So shout out to all of you subscribers. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your love and support. Really do appreciate you all. A big shout out to Maggie at Journaling with Maggie. She sent me an email just to check that I was okay, and I thought that was just so special and so sweet of her to do so. I think, am I going to use this tool? I have my favorite tool, but it's a homemade tool and it is not very happy, but let's see, because the pins keep falling out. No, let me go for my other tool. It's so funny because I use these tools in my mandala dot arting as well, but obviously not that side. So the tools that I sometimes use, it's got a ball tool on each end. Anyways, so I thought I'd do some quilling with you guys because, you know, I am into the quilling as well, and I actually haven't done quilling since the beginning of the year. I did a 3D quilling class in January and we made these little cacti plants, and then I put it into one of my fancy coffee boxes and cut out the front and put some fairy lights in there. Let me see if I can switch it on. It's just housed in the top there. I thought these boxes were absolutely perfect for that. So there is my little cacti fairy garden that I made in January. So obviously we just did the pots in the class. We did the little pots and I showed the ladies how to make these little 3D quilled cacti. So let me switch that up again. Cute, eh? Cute little project. So yeah, so today I thought I would do some quilling because I haven't done quilling in a while, and I can make a flower with my quilling strips. So like I said, I went in, I pulled out my quilling strips because, you know, quilling strips come like this, and then once you've taken some out, well, this is what happens. So it's a bit difficult to get them all back into the packets and everything. Anywho, so let's get on with this. Yeah, I think when I put them on that way, so I'm going to attach my flower there, but first we need to get on with the quilling. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Little trick with quilling papers, you always tear off the edges. It just gives you, when you roll up, it just gives you a better edge to work with. I am part of the UK Quilling Guild. I am a member. I have been for 3 years now, which means I can do my accreditation, which I shall possibly get into at some point. I've been procrastinating on that. I think I've actually been a member for 4 years. I can't remember now. But yeah, so I'd like to do my accreditation at some point with them. And then once you've been a member for 5 years, you can do your higher accreditation as well. So that's always handy to know. And have around. I'm just looking for my quilling board. Oh, well, it's not a quilling board, it's just a circle stencil that I like to use. Let me just check if there's anything else in my little quilling box that I need. I don't think so. I think I'm good. Right, let's get that out the way. After looking for that for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then finally my lovely cleaning lady found it in the back of a cupboard somewhere. Alright, so I just got this out just so I can get all my little pieces the same size. 15. Oh, this is backwards. Let's put it this way rather. 15, maybe the 14. No, let's go for the 15. Alright, so you saw, oh, it doesn't really want to. Okay, let's see if it will fit into the 14. Yeah, okay, so we'll go for 14s. So I just use my special quilling tool to twirl my quilling strips. You know, if you haven't heard of quilling, this is it, where you take strips of paper and you use a special tool and you make strips of paper into coils, and then from there it's endless again. Yeah, I got into quilling a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed it, and then like I said, I joined the Quilling Guild, the UK Quilling Guild, and there's quite a lot of interesting things about quilling and how to do it properly. The UK ladies actually do this by hand. They actually twirl their little pieces of paper by hand, which I find absolutely fascinating. You saw there, I just put a tiny little bit of glue just on the edge there. And then all I'm going to do is pinch it into shape like that. So I'm going to make some petal shapes out of those ones. Let's do another piece. Again, this is one of those repetitive is meditative sort of crafty things. And I also recently learned that there's a wrong way and a right way to quilling paper, but it's a very tactile thing. You have to really feel your paper to feel which way is the right way and the wrong way. And it doesn't really matter, actually. You just do you. So there we go, there's another one. A little coils. Oh, that one popped out a little bit. So if you're interested in quilling and want to join the Quilling Guild, like I said, it is the Quilling Guild UK. I believe there's an American one, and in Australia it is huge. I think they've got a guild in Australia too. I think I might be wrong, but quilling's quite a big thing in Australia. I have learnt along the way. Tiny little bit of glue, just lining them all up nicely again, and you give it a pinch to make this teardrop shape. Alright, next one. Just again, just ripping off the edges. I actually can feel the difference. So the part which is on my index finger is the wrong side of the quilling paper, and this side is the right side of the quilling paper. You can feel the right side sort of has a dome on it, and the underside sort of is opposite. So you just gently feel your paper. You'll be able to tell which is the right and the wrong side. But like I said, it doesn't actually really matter. I think what matters is actually getting the coils the same size, so you have a nice almost equal size petals when you're doing flowers. There we go, there's another one all ready to go. Put that in there, wait for it to curl out a bit, pick it up. Come on now. And again, quilling is such a broad thing, you know, there's all these different sort of coils that you can make and different shapes that you can make, and like I said, the 3D. I love the 3D. I absolutely love 3D quilling. It's a lot of fun. So I don't often do what I call flat quilling or on edge quilling, because there is a whole section of on edge quilling, which is a whole term of itself. And that's basically where you make more the outside lines of a project. You know, like if you were doing a cat, then you would do just the outside, I don't know what you would call it, the outside edge of a cat, and that would be on edge quilling. But to me, this is also on edge because you are putting your pieces on the edge, you know. I'm sure it will all make sense just now if you're not really, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't speak today. Like if you don't know quilling, then it's very involved. Yeah, but it is one of my kind of favorite hobbies to do. I don't even know if I made sense there, sorry guys. Okay, I started squishing this one already by accident, so this petal might be a little bit too large. Yeah, it is, but that's okay. We'll make it work. It's close enough. So I want to try and make 6 petals first. Let's see how that goes. You get all sorts of tools and equipment for quilling as well. It really has kind of expanded quite a lot. So my understanding of quilling is it came from the days of Bible making, and the pages of the edge of the Bible would be obviously trimmed down, and then the nuns used to take those page edges, those strips, and then they would decorate the cover of the Bible with quilling. And it's called quilling because their tool that they would use would be a quill and a slot in the quill, and yeah, hence that's where quilling comes from. That's my kind of knowledge of it. So it's a really beautiful old art which has found its place in the modern world, which is so lovely, you know. And nowadays you get all sorts of, you get electric tools as well. I feel that's cheating a little bit, but if you're making like 3D things, the electric tool comes in handy. I say electric, but it's battery operated. I'll show you. I actually do have one in my stash, in my kit, in my quilling box toolbox. I've got a whole shoebox full of quilling stuff, so all of my quilling strips are in there. A lot of my peg boards are in there. My husk making board is in there, because there's a technique called husking as well, where you basically wrap the strip around pins in a board. Where's my one? Battery operated. Fun. So yeah, and then you get all sorts of tools for quilling. So these are needle tools. That's a long slotted tool. That's for making thicker rolls. I believe my phone is ringing. They can wait. Hope it's not interfering with my video recording here. Yeah, there's a normal tool and another normal tool. So yeah, you get a variety of tools and different sort of cork peg boards and husking boards. My husking board must be up at the top. And then you also get these sort of things. So that's what I use to make the little pots when I make my 3D cacti pots. And also when I make like a cup and saucer, I also use these dome shapes on that. But I digress here with the tools in my little toolbox. let's carry on here. I've almost, do I have 6 petals now? Yeah, I got 6 petals. I'm going to go for 6 and see if that works. Now my glue stuck. Come on now. There we go. Just a dab. So I was trying to make a project, an extra little smaller sort of mini journal for Grand's journal, because I was, oh, you see, you got to be so careful with these things because sometimes they pop out like that. Let's see if I can get it back in. If not, I'll just take another strip. Come on, there we go. Oh, I saved it. Yeah, so I just took a bit of a break from Grand's journal, but trying to do something for Grand's journal. But even though I measured, it's now too big for Grand's journal. So I've been working on this. So I've decided this is going to be gifted to a special friend for her birthday. So I can't really say who it is because she might be watching. So this is a little work in progress. I took all of my late grandfather's birthday cards and Christmas cards and all of these cards, and I covered them in like tea dyed paper, coffee dyed paper, distressed paper, and yeah, just started decorating. And I've used some of those clusters that I made in the cluster series that I did. So that's just needs a little bit more decorating. There's some pockets which need to be filled, so maybe on Friday I shall do a flip through Friday on that. Other stuff, I've found some more people to follow. I think I must do a bit of a video on everybody that I'm following, and I think that could be quite fun, you know, because maybe there's a channel you don't know of that might interest you. So I shall think about that. Okay, this is a closed tight coil that I've made now. So you'll see I didn't let it expand by itself. I've just done that thing. Okay, pop that off. Alright, let me get my acetate, which was a boo-boo because I actually tried to print on it and that really did not work. I'm going to just use my little circle punch, and I'm going to just punch out a circle. That's where the acetate comes in. Let's see if my circle punch wants to punch through it. I don't think so. Oh dear, now I've gotten it stuck. Let's see if it will unstuck itself. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. No, that wasn't such a good idea. Let's see if I can poke it out. Don't do it as I do. I'm not even going to show you. Okay, so that was a bit of a fail. I don't even want to show you what I'm doing because now I have kind of buggered up my circle punch and it doesn't want to release. Oops. Oh my gosh. Let me just cut this off. Oh my hat. Sorry guys. I didn't realize that was going to happen. It's still kind of stuck in there, and like I said, I'm not even going to show you how I get it unstuck. Just know I'm using a pair of scissors. And brute force and ignorance. Okay, so we know that doesn't work. At least I have learned something. Not a mistake. I have learned something. So all I'll do then is I'm just going to cut a piece of this. I just want like a base to work off of, so we'll just cut a little square. Kind of square. It's not very square, but it's close enough, I guess. Let's make it a little bit neater. I just want something to be able to stick onto there. This might be still a bit too big, so I'm just going to cut it down just a little bit more. I'm just cutting over my dustbin here, just so I don't make a mess. Alright, so I know it's very hard to see, on my silicone, my new silicone mat that I'm so impressed with. Alright, so generally we do use PVA glue for this, but I am going to go in with my B6000 glue just because I'm working on plastic. So there we go. And this is actually where I got the idea with the reverse tweezers from, was from doing quilling. So my reverse tweezers for my quilling are actually in my sewing kit. So funny. So we'll just use these ones. I want to place this over here. Okay, I'm just dropping that into that glue. Okay, and another one. This petal was the one which came out too big, but that's fine. Again, we love fiddly things. We love fiddly things. Let me grab this like this. Hope I don't squash it too much. I think I'll do better with my fingers actually than the tweezers right now. So I'm just arranging my petals onto this tiny little blob of glue that I have on there. There we go. And the last one, let's just squeeze it in there. I think I do want to do a double row of petals on this one. Okay, let's choose a different color, and then maybe what I'll do is just do these quillings off camera just to save a bit of time, because like I said, I do want to actually get 2 done, but we'll see how much time this video is going to take, because I've got no clue. Oh, I'm making such a mess. There's quilling papers everywhere now. Like I said, once you've kind of delved into your quilling papers, they do tend to not want to go back in any which way. So yeah, there are videos on how to store your quilling papers, but for me, I try and get them back into the packets that they came in from. Sorry, hubby was calling me. It is Discovery Day or something, so I think overseas it is, I think they're called Vitality. It's a medical aid thing. In our country it's not just medical aid, there's a whole bunch of things. I've lost my quilling tool. Yeah, I've lost my quilling tool. Oh, there it is. Found it. Yeah, so he was just asking me if I wanted to watch Discovery Health, and I was like, no, I'm busy recording. No thanks, you can update me on that. So I don't really want to watch Discovery Day, thank you. I love you, babe, but yeah, I'd much rather be filming and being with my crafty buddies. I said I was going to do this off camera, so let me just do this one quickly. Pop that off. Put my grid back down, move this one out the way. Things are ready. Oh, didn't want to do that. That's one disadvantage about the silicone mats, is I'm finding lots of things kind of don't move too well on it, which I suppose is the purpose. Let me just stick this one down quickly. There we go. Oh, it's actually coming out too big. So if that does happen, what's nice about the quilling strips is you just pull them in your fingers again and just do a bit of hand rolling. Oh, hand rolling. I want these to be a little bit smaller than the previous ones. So let me see if I can squeeze it into this number 12 slot. I think it might be a bit tight in there, but let's see. Let's go with the flow. go. Okay, let me just do one with you guys, and then I will do the other 5 off camera. Tiny bit of glue, smush it down, and then this one I'm going to pinch this side, and I'm going to pinch this side, and then just give it a bit of a this. There we go. Right, let me do the rest off camera. Okay, so I changed my mind. I'm not going to go with this shape, and I'm going to actually stick these in between those ones. Yeah, so I went for this darker pink color. Now I'm going to need my tweezers. Alright, and all I'm going to do is run a tiny little bit of glue on this side and on this side. A little bit more. Yeah, so also I wanted to mention this is a 3mm quilling strip. So it's only 3 millimeters wide, and you get different widths of quilling paper. I quite like the 5mm. It's a really nice width to work with. It's the 5mm, especially if you're doing 3D quilling, and 10mm if you're making like little pots and saucers and stuff. Depends on how 3D you want your piece to be, you know, how chunky you want it to be. So that's why I've gone for the 3mm here, because it needs to go inside Grant's journal, and Grant's journal is really getting very chunky. So you do get a 2mm, but I really battle to work with 2mm. I just find it's just too finicky to work with. So all I'm doing now is I am just putting these extra petals in between. I don't know if it's going to all fit. I hope so. So I'm just kind of wasting my time here. And I've also gone for these like kind of pinky colors to go with the cover of that journal with the cosmos flowers. Okay, let's just open you up a little bit and try and squish you in there. Go, go, go. Squishing you in. So I didn't want to make this one too 3D, because I was thinking about layering the second lot of petals kind of on top, but again it's going to become far too chunky for that. I also wanted to mention that on the Quilling Guild's website they've got a terminology spreadsheet, which is great, and there's a whole lot of new things on there that I haven't come across yet, and trying to know how to make these things. Some of the ladies do a few demonstrations on their YouTube channel, so you can go check out the Quilling Guild's YouTube channel as well. I find it just so fascinating what you can do with little strips of paper. And a lot of people say to me, oh, quilting, and I'm like, no, quilting's when you take little pieces of material and make a blanket, and quilling is where you take little strips of paper and make pretty things. I just want to try and pick this up, but I'm battling here. Let me see if I can squeeze this one in here. I don't know what my grandsons are doing. We got some ribs delivered today in a polystyrene box, and I think that's what's being bashed around outside. I just hear this bashing. You know, boys in boxes. Almost like cats in boxes, a fits or sits type thing. Okay, I'm just trying to squish this one in there. Please go in. There we go. I'm fighting it a bit. There we go. Alright, there we go. One quilled flower, looking very pretty. And now for some reason, there we go, I can lift it, thank goodness. My word, I was getting worried there that I wouldn't be able to lift it off. Okay, so if you're wondering what the ball point is for, so if you're very, very gentle and very careful, you can actually make a bit of a dome shape, but I don't really want the dome shape because, like I said, this is going to become too chunky. But there we go. I've made like a little domey type thing with that, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to squish it flat again and put a double glue. And put that on there. Give it a little bit of a squish down. There we go. Oh, no, not enough glue. I'm going to actually just kind of try and touch there. I can actually see it's moving on the inside. Let me just give that a bit of a squish down. In quilling, you don't really want to see your glue marks, so that's why you use such a minimal amount of glue with the quilling. I actually have something on my desk somewhere. I wanted to enter one of the Quilling Guild competitions, but it was just kind of after COVID, and to send stuff to the UK, especially paper stuff and wooden stuff, they wanted me to spray insecticide on my beautiful project, and I was like, no. So I designed this little, well, it was a box that I bought, but I designed the little ndebele pattern on one of my few videos ago. I did explain what ndebele is, and then inside I copied the pattern with my quilling. So I've got this little ndebele quilling box with a whole lot of different techniques in there. Like I said, if you pop over to the Quilling Guild's website, you get a whole explanation of terminologies and stuff, which is great. I want some leaves, so I'm going to go for some green. I just don't know which green I want to do. Let's do this green. So yeah, quilling strips come in different lengths as well, so not only the millimeter but also this way. They are usually bigger than an A4 paper, so you can see it's actually almost fitting right across my A3 cutting mat, so just bear that in mind. You can cut your own strips as well, obviously with a knife cutter thingy, one of these, and a ruler and a steady hand. I got myself a pasta cutting machine, so that also helps to make strips. But I found that when I run the paper through that, the paper sort of goes off at an angle, so your strips come off at a bit of an angle, which isn't so great. So I did try that, and I got a little mini hand shredder as well. But again, the paper runs off funny, so just buy the strips, much easier. Strips also kind of come in like color packs, so you don't just have to get the rainbow one like this. You can get like a pack of yellow and shades of yellow, you know, or single colors or shades of a specific color. So that's always interesting. Okay, where's my little boardy? Let me bring this back. I wanted to expand a little bit more. Let's put it in that one. Oops. This is a bit of the tricky part, is trying to keep it in here. There we go. That looks good. That was the 16. Take it out. Put a bit of a dab of glue there. Close it up. Now this one, I'm going to pinch both ends and give it a twist. Right? Stick that little bit down. And I'm going to do another one. Just ripping off the edges of my quilling paper. And just like with normal paper, you get different weights of quilling paper depending what you're wanting to do. So that on edge that I was talking about earlier on, that one you want more of a sturdier paper, and when you're doing intricate things like this, you want a bit more of a lightweight paper. I don't know what's happening here. It doesn't want to go through the slot. There we go, got it. Okay, keep rolling, 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 rolling. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on YouTube, but I did it. Well, that just reminded me of my youth. I'm giving away my age here, but I did give away my age the other day, so all good. Okay, so there's my second piece. So now I'm actually going to build them onto each other. So I think I want my little leaves to kind of go upwards like this. Okay, see how nicely they like squish into each other, which I quite like too. These fun things about quilling. So I'm going to squish it in between those two petals. Right, give it a little bit of a push down, and then this one I'm going to kind of work it onto the other one to make one bigger leaf type thing. So putting glue down the side here like this all the way. Yeah, that looks good. And kind of smushing it onto the other one. I'm quite impressed with how this little flower is coming out. Let's be honest, quite like it. Okay, I'm going to make another two, and I've got quilling papers going everywhere now. 1, 2. So again, like the scrap part is you could take your scrap strips and then cut them down, as long as they're the same width. Yeah, make your own quilling papers, but just bearing in mind the length. So you can also join quilling paper onto itself, and that's where breaking the edges off comes in handy. And you don't have this very big step in the paper. It kind of smooths out, which is nice, so you can't really see that it's been joined. And also you can break them in half, in quarters, in eighths. Oh, what am I doing, Candace? Oh, I called myself Candace. I forgot to let it coil out a bit. What was I using? The 16? Was I using the 16? Ugh, it doesn't really matter, it's leaves. Sorry, that one's fine. Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so yeah, depending what your needs are, you can either add or half them or quarter them or eighth them to make different size coils. Okay, let me get that one a bit of a good bend. I think what I want to do is try and slip this one in here. Yeah, that can work. I'm going for it. Bit of glue down each side, just the tip part here like this, so I don't need to glue up all the way. There we go. So a lot of the quilling ladies that I follow and stuff, I see they use Alma's tacky glue. And again, it's one of those things that I just cannot get in this country. Alma's glue is not a thing here. And if it is, it's usually that project glue. And it costs a fortune. So, you know, it's such a pity that we are so limited for glue supplies in this country. It's such a pity. Because there's some really good brands out there that I wish we could get at reasonable prices. Okay, let's let that do its thing. See, I just gently lift my finger up as it's busy uncoiling itself. I want to say quilling itself, but it's coiling, right? It's a coil. Sounds like there's drama. Okay, let's go for that. And then whenever I join that piece, I try and hide it, because you need to kind of like hide those things. Are you going to go that side? But then my join is facing. Doesn't matter. Let's just flip it over and see if that would be better. Mom. Shame, the little guy's really taking strain. He just wants to go home. And it's hard to explain to a 4-year-old, you know, that you're waiting for visas and stuff. Okay, let's stick that one on that side.
Hello? Hello?
That one doesn't look too right to me, I don't know.
Hello?
But I'm sure it will work nonetheless. He wants his laser. He's got one of those like little torch laser things. And Mom lets him play outside with it at night. But now, of course, it wants his laser now. And it's what? Oh, it's telling me that I need to move. Oops. Time to get moving. Not now. What's the time? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's really not laser time. Okay, so there's my little quilled flower. And I am going to attach it onto my giant paper clip over there, like that. I think that will look great. That's why I used the piece of acetate, so I've got a surface for my quilled flower to actually sit on there. So like that. I don't know if you can see that. Hey, I cut it almost perfectly. I'm quite impressed with that. But I want to do it this side, because I want my clip to slide. Yeah, I think that looks great. So I'm going to then go in with my B6000 again, because I really don't want this going anywhere. And it's sort of plastic on plastic. Should actually maybe use the E6000 for this, but we'll see. I'm sure the B6000 will work just fine. Okay. Oh, come on now. I missed that completely. Alrighty. Let's do this gluing thing. I think this worked out so nicely. I'm quite impressed. Okay, give that a bit of a smush down. I said I was going to make 2, but I don't think I have time to make 2 right now. There we go. There is a 3D, well, not 3D. There is my quilled paper clip to go in Grand's journal. Yeah, I'm going to call this video done, and I'll do some more of these off camera, and then maybe one Friday when I do a flip through Friday, I shall show you where they're going to live in Grand's journal. So yeah, guys, thanks for sticking out with me today. I hope you enjoyed watching me do some quilling, something different, something interesting, something old, which is becoming very new and another passion that I absolutely love. I wish I could show you more of my quilling stuff, but the one thing is in a huge big ass frame, which is very heavy and on my desk. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take a photo of it and I shall insert it here somewhere for you so you can see. And this was before I knew about the glue showing and everything, so yeah. Anyways, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for being here again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of the week. I don't know when I'll see you again this week. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'll definitely try for Friday. Yeah. Take care. God bless. Thank you, everybody. See you again. Bye for now.